Jenny, you can recording also. Okay.
Good morning. Success is no accident. It is hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrifice, and most of all, love of what you are doing or learning to do. Welcome to the international webinar on artificial intelligence organized by UGC HRDC and Department of Computer Science, University of Madras. பிறவி பெருங்கடல் நீந்துவர் நீந்தார் இறைவனடி சேராதார். To start this event with the blessings of Almighty, let's sing Tamil Thai வாழ்த்து.
நீராறும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்தை கெழிலொழுகும் சீராறும் மதனமென திகழ்வரத கண்டமிதில் எக்கணமும் அதில் சிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு திரை நுதலும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திறம்பியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே.
Gratitude is a twofold love. Love coming to visit us and love running out to greet and welcome the guest. Now, I would like to call Professor Dr. M. Sarnam, Department of Computer Science, University of Madras, to deliver the welcome address and introduce the first speaker of this webinar. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Jenny. அனைவருக்கும் இனிய பொன்னான காலை வணக்கங்கள். A very warm good morning to one and all present here. Respected and Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor S. Gauri, and ever supporting and motivating registrar and human being as of time, registrar in charge, Professor Madhivanan sir, our ever dynamic HOD, Dr. P. Thangvel, and ever loving support faculties and my beloved professors from Department of Computer Science, Professor P.L. Chitra, Professor S. Gopinathan, Dr. B. Lavanya, our PG students, research scholars, faculties and delegates from our own university as well as other university across India. All participants from this university, from affiliated colleges and other institutions throughout India. It's indeed gives me a very pleasant feeling that I have an opportunity to welcome today's resource person. Of course, at this juncture, I would like to share that I am double happy that I'm conducting this program through the honor of our director sir from UGC HRDC as well as deputy director and the university authorities. That is one happiness. And another happiness is I am having the opportunity to welcome my own classmate, PG classmate, Mr. Shiva Tirumalizai. So that is why I told that I am having double happiness. So before we start, I will just start with Tirukkural. கற்றிலனாயினும் கேட்க அது ஒருவருக்கு ஒர்க்கத்தின் ஊற்றாம் துணை. நூல்களை கற்காவிட்டாலும் கற்றவரிடம் கேட்டு தெரிந்து கொண்டால் அது நடை தளர்ந்தவனுக்கு உதவிடும் ஊன்றுகோலை போல துணையாக அமையும். So though we don't have opportunity to learn, just create a chance or grab the chance to hear from the learned people. So our sage Thiruvalluvar has so long ago has given this verses, and it is very useful for leading our own life. So coming to the speaker's introduction, Shiva Tirumalizai is currently the founder and CEO of Nasotech, an innovative technology business solutions company, digital strategy consultant, and trainer for executives in emerging technologies. He has over 25 years of experience in managing, creating, deploying solutions for enterprise, federal, and consumer markets, including remote locations. He is a mentor for startups in US and India. Shiva was a founding member of two startups, Paper Software Inc. and Network 24, with successful exits. Apple, other organizations, and news media have featured his apps. Shiva is an ardent leader and strong practicing evangelist of open source software. He is a coach and mentor for many technical professionals and entrepreneurs in US, India, and other countries. Shiva was a co-founder and organizer for Google Developer Group in DC area. He worked with many local organizations in organizing meetings in entrepreneurial and technology topics benefiting DC area technology, business professionals, and entrepreneurs. He also runs multiple meetup groups on emerging technologies. Nasotech has pioneered in creating, architecting, deploying a large number of software applications for legacy, internet, mobile, cloud, big data, IoT, AI, blockchain, HCD, 5G, voice platforms, AR, VR, and human-centered AI. Nasotech has developed a unique AI and mobile platform for faster development and deployment. Shiva is a TIE DC chapter member of CTO group in DC, mentor and partnership director for startups, lifetime member of Computer Society of India. And his list goes on, but I don't want to stand between the resource person and the participants who are eagerly waiting to hear his lecture on AI. I am very much thankful for the HRDC Director, Professor Madheshwaran, and Deputy Director, Professor N. Godandraman, for giving me the opportunity to conduct this wonderful program. Hope that all the delegates are going to enjoy this program, and at the end you have the chance of interacting with the resource person and the feedback you can give. Thank you for this opportunity. Now over to the resource person. Thank you.
Thank you all. Good morning. Thank you, Dr. Sonam. It's a great pleasure actually to always interacting with the University of, I always enjoyed that. So let me share my screen.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, so I think we're calling.
Some other instrument is nearby? Maybe.
I don't know if there are. I guess somebody else is echoing. Oh, now it's gone. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm Shiva, as Dr. Swarnam introduced me. Today I'm going to talk about AI advancement in healthcare. Healthcare, more like a 360-degree view of the healthcare advancement, actually. It's not any specific technology, but it's much more on a general side. And I also, the healthcare, whenever we think healthcare, we think our own mindset. But if you have to look at healthcare, it's broader areas, like where anywhere from pediatric healthcare to really senior support, actually, that kind of level, actually. Some people home care, remote areas, there is various components happen. And we kind of build our own products and have our own technologies. The introduction wise, already she covered it, so thank you. So this is an interesting picture. I was just thinking about it. How do I express advancement? Like the healthcare is like so advancing on a daily basis. How do you represent? So this is a way I was able to bring it up, actually, where way back, even like before the modern science, but the modern science, even stethoscope medicine, and there is a place where you go get the doctor's support and injection, that kind of the support what we had in the healthcare. But today, it's completely different, meaning like AI is involved. Even people don't understand or even know that AI is involved. Many areas of healthcare, right from thermometer to blood pressure. So there's areas of stuff. So on top of it, the wearables and drone is getting into healthcare. Drone accurately, like even if it is a road emergency and somebody has a heart attack, there is a technology building right now happening where they can deliver a defibrillator right to you where you are. Actually, you could be in a remote location also. And the augmented reality kind of helps to work with multiple doctors, multiple providers to connect to each other and exactly view what the patient challenges are and able to provide advice, actually. And then 5G enables the interactiveness into a greater extent. And there are technologies and companies working on it to provide AI on the store, actually, meaning where you are. Every lamppost in the city, smart city, or even regular cities are becoming an edge device, actually, an IoT device, which can provide AI support right there, actually. The area the blockchain kind of helps is it kind of creates a trust, actually. So one of the major challenges of AI for the human consumption is the trust, actually. So the blockchain enabled with the AI is providing that trust, actually. So that's an advancement, actually. We've been working on the blockchain AI combination for the last 5 years, actually. We have seen an amazing progress on that, actually. Awesome opportunities there. And I always talk about the AI with trust, actually. That is one of the key areas, actually, where if you just say AI, people only think of Terminator and things like that, where, hey, how is that going? I'm only seeing a destroy, like things are going bad every time. But there is a change, a lot of change is happening there. And already the cloud is like fueling all this AI opportunities, because there is very easy way to provide an on-prem or in your university or in your company or office physical location to support the massive scale of AI opportunity. Whereas today's world, the cloud changes all that stuff. Let's say you want to build an AI application, you could literally create one in 1 day. Actually, within a day, you can create a massively scalable AI applications. And it's going to even change with the quantum computing. There is a lot of stuff is happening in that area right now. And I don't know if you guys watched closely the Apple's, of course, Apple, Intel, NVIDIA, all of them are competing on the hardware and the chipsets and the motherboards and so on. But Apple made a drastic announcement like last month, this month, like March 8th. They introduced a technology called Mac Studio, and then Mac Studio Ultra. Amazing, because they were able to provide the number of cores, the CPU cores, number of GPU cores, all that in your desktop. It's just amazing. There is very, very, very few level of that. So please, can you mute if you guys don't mind? The power of AI, you can build, test it out in your own area. It's really awesome, amazing stuff that's happening. So I've always loved this this particular robot, like Sophia. If you really look at it, this kind of like a dream of what the providers, medical patients, everybody, what they want to see as an advancement, actually. So this is a platform built by Anson Robotics. Interestingly, Sophia has become a innovation ambassador, actually. That's a very powerful, actually. You can have interaction, constant discussion. It's not like a one question and you get an answer. You can have a continuous contest-based conversation. And we all watched this movie, Endiran. So it's pretty interesting. It's pretty close, the way it is. I know it's not like a truly human intelligence, but it is close enough on what we have in terms of the technology, actually. So the very interesting part of this, why I'm talking about Sophia is designed for a suitable companion for elderly at nursing homes. Really think about it. If you have a dementia or arthritis, or dementia is one of the challenges, actually. The people ask repeated questions, same questions, they'll forget you, meaning it could be your parents or grandparents. And I have seen in person, actually, like many of my great aunts and so on, my family's, my wife's great aunt also, they all went through this challenge, actually. When you are hitting like 80, 90 years old, the dementia hits you very hard, actually. That time they need help. And many of the times, like human help, they don't like it, actually. They say, oh, I am independent, I can do it on my own. But they're embarrassed to ask help. But Sophia kind of a technology can actually help them, can interact with them. You can ask 20 questions or 1,000 questions repeatedly, again and again and again. So the robotics technology, AI, doesn't get tired of it, actually. It will keep answering to you or help you or enhance the answer also on the fly based on your mood and everything. And this picture, I always put it in my talks because it's very important to simplify what is AI. The AI is the combination of the deep learning, machine learning, and then AI. Its majority is the application, actually, so that people lose the track and then they go into like very small areas on what they are looking for. But AI, if you look at it in like an enclosure, there's a deep learning portion where you could build all kinds of components for a deep learning and continuous learning areas. And then you can do the machine learning also. On top of it, you can build applications, like amazing applications can be built, especially on healthcare. Healthcare is one area where we only scratch the surface. So AI thinking. See, this is another chart, a very powerful chart, actually. So the chart, if you really look at it, there is this areas of collection. You need data. Without data, AI cannot be built, actually. You need enough data, enough variability data. The data could be many forms, it could be textual forms, image, it could be voice, everything. That is the data you really need. And then you build the analysis, actually, analysis based on the data and cleaning up and all of that component. And then the learning, actually. The learning is very, very critical. So these three kind of powers the action. So you could do action on top of it. So if you take Sophia, it's a combination of all these components. Actually, that's what Sophia is able to do all that work with this. You can apply this to healthcare, you can apply it to finance, you can apply to education, you can apply to industry. Anywhere it is the same template, but this template is heavily helpful in the healthcare area. So, and then if you look at it as a pipeline, like on the template side, apply as a pipeline, what do you really need for the healthcare also is like the setup, making sure that all the setup, whatever you need in terms of the training and so on. Whereas with the cloud technology, many of the setups like reduces the effort you need to put in. Then collecting data, the data collection and the massive scaling, it's very difficult to do it on-prem. That's where the entire cloud makes it much, much easier for you to scale the data storage and consumption and protection. All of that can be done in the cloud side of it actually. Then controlled use, meaning there is a ways you can integrate with EMR. And then like you can do a launch pilot, a simple pilot, where just to test the market, actually, test and understand what is happening, whether it is really helpful or not. And then you go back and fine tune it actually, the repeatability. Then you can roll out actually. So that's this pipeline is very important for any AI healthcare solutions. So what is AI in healthcare actually? The like machine learning, that portion of the AI as a potential to provide data-driven clinical decision support. So that is very important. So when a physician is looking at a patient, he needs to make a decision. There are 1,000, there are so many medicines, options. Even if for a particular medical condition or some kind of an accident, whatever it is, you need to make a decision. The physician has to make a decision, and then the surgeon has to make a decision on what to do at that moment. The olden days, even like 10, 20 years back, yeah, you had to make a decision. I remember one of the provider, the doctor, talked about in the war areas, when the patient comes in, sometimes in general, if you are in a pristine hospital, you would make a surgery and be very protective of the patient. Whereas in the war zone or a zone where there is emergencies happening, you may not have time to think. So many times they amputate like a hand and leg just so that they can make the person alive actually, as opposed to, if they take time to make the decision, wait for it, he may die actually because the protection is not there. So the deep learning, a subset of AI designed to identify patterns, algorithms. And so see, there is healthcare as a massive data, massive variability actually. Every patient, every ethnic group has a different bias actually. So AI needs to be able to support all of that stuff actually. That's one of the reasons AI is critical in healthcare, but without a bias actually. We'll talk about that later. So benefits of AI, integrating AI into the healthcare ecosystem allows multiple benefits actually, automating tasks, analyzing big patients, because you have enough amount of data, all the patients, right from like just the US alone, but there are a lot of relationship between US and other countries in terms of how the healthcare data can be shared and maintained. Another area where the AI can help is 30% of healthcare costs is nothing to do with the actual health operations or anything. It is more to do with the authorizing insurance, following up, and all of that stuff. So there is a huge opportunity also to do healthcare related, meaning the healthcare ecosystem, but not necessarily treating a patient, actually, but providing additional support so that the healthcare cost can come down, and also the providing, like, to attending to the patient could be fast enough. If you are familiar with the US health emergency hospitals, every hospital has a time, actually. They always publish a time. How fast can they see an emergency patient, actually? That you can improve all that stuff with the AI, actually. Like you could, even within the ambulance, you should be able to do a lot of the mechanisms and diagnosis and so on. And then you take him down to the emergency hospital, actually. So another great area for AI is to analyze big data, actually, huge amount of health data, and figure out the various possibilities, various things happening, and how do you treat them. And also the predictive analysis, actually, that is one of the key values there, actually. And wearable healthcare, that is changing the whole world. It's just unbelievable. One example I personally felt is like a month ago, I was walking my dog in the local street, and then my dog somehow pulled me and I fell, actually. My watch immediately detected I fell, and it was asking me, hey, we detected that you had a emergency scenario. Do you want to call emergency support? Immediately, meaning I didn't do anything. All I have to do is just speak back. That's about it. So think about it. The AI, practical AI, and one helps people, actually, immediately without them provoking it, actually. So it's just pretty awesome. And the second component is, we are going to look at it more closely, but the wearable second component of the healthcare is constantly looking at the technology, and then look at how do you help manage it, actually. How do you make that as a normal nature of your life, actually. So the other areas, like there are many areas. Preventive medicine, actually, drug discovery, and then Watson has a large data, and they are able to come up with mechanisms to identify cancer, analyze cancer, come up with a exclusively very personal solution to a patient, actually, because every cancer patient is different. They provide amazing analysis and provide content, but still it's kind of going through the phase. It's not like 100% working or everywhere it is used. It's going through the phase. Same thing, Google has the healthcare application. And same way Microsoft has, Google and Amazon, all of them have different applications, the APIs, with the data set behind that, actually. So let's say if you have one of the health scenario, then they can provide you the medication, the side effects, which medication work for which ethnicity. All of that can be provided in your tips, actually. Very simple way. So this is just, I was kind of trying to put together a set of applications which focuses AI. This is just a bird's eye view, a very small set compared to like massive amount of things happening in the world. So one of them is like the AI powered tool. There is I don't know about this disease, but I saw that was heavily invested right now. There is a chemotherapy on the cancer patients, and that causes a problem, actually, an infection. So with the AI, it is a funded project where Microsoft and another company, a startup, jointly working on to figure out the infections happening based on the chemotherapy drugs, actually. It's very interesting, actually. Now it's all completely AI because it analyzes the images and provides a solution there. Then JuneBrain, one of the companies I mentored, that and the Pediometrics. So the JuneBrain is one of the companies where it's very interesting what they have done. The MSD is a disease. It's very difficult to. There is no real cure, actually. So one of my friends also has MSD, and there is no cure. It's kind of a certain death or certain fatality, but it's a long term, actually. No, it's not like a heart attack where you die within a day. This is like the entire health condition deteriorates over a period of 20 years, 25 years, and of course, eventually you pass away. But the June brain, what it helps is to detect actually. So they have a wearable which is you have to put it like your glasses, you put that in your eyes, and just for very, very few seconds actually, like maybe a minute, and then it analyzes your eye pupil and figures out how much of MSD is getting impacted by you. So they have, again, I'm simplifying their analysis on the AI, but they do an extensive analysis actually, and then provide you all that solution. And then they provide that to your physician also. So you can have it at home. You can buy the device and have it at home. Every week, you can just put it for like 5-10 minutes or whatever the duration is. And then end of that, it will send it to the physician, and then the physician can monitor, and they can help you to like live with that medical condition and help you to grow. Meaning, because it physically impacts you. So the medications and so on can be adjusted so that your physical challenges will be much lesser. This other one, the Pediametrics, is very interesting actually. It's also at-home AI-driven assessment. So I didn't know about this before that company explained to me that when the baby is born, the egg formation, I know in India, we all, at least from my family, I know that the egg formation changes quite a bit. But then there are formations of the head which can have a longer problems, actually, longer formations, head issues. So they have a mechanism to take a photo, and they have a way of AI analysis to tell you, and then they tell the doctor or the pediatrician how to treat them, actually. Right from the photo of the head, actually. It's pretty amazing, actually. This startup has built a lot of the technologies. It's 100% AI-based detection and analysis and so on. So that's one of the major area where the AI advancement is happening in the applications. The next one is Fitbit, actually. If you look at Fitbit, it gives you all kinds of stuff: oxygen, saturation, skin temperature, and health metrics dashboard. So that's another application which is AI is built into. We'll go into details later. And then Apple Watch, actually, that's another, as I said, automatically detected my eye falling down. Similarly, it checks the heart rate. You can do ECG. What you would normally go to a doctor, even if you have a smaller challenge, and wait in the hospital and so on. So, but again, our thinking of doctor is if you're in a city like Chennai, or I'm in DC area here, or if you're in Singapore, so their doctors' availability is much easier, much closer. You can call them or go there and visit. But think of areas, remote areas, actually. If you're in Kanyakumari, or if you're in like a northeastern region, it's very difficult to get the doctors. That's where these kinds of wearables have a great value. And then this IBM Watson is one of the. So IBM Watson is like at the location right now, but it's keep going. They've been there for like more than 10 years. They are still going and expanding their knowledge, and in their technologies increasing heavily, where a doctor can send an image and ask questions, and it will provide you all kinds of information on the diagnostics and the supports and the medicine, the procedure, what do you want to do. So that's so this application area is happening, actually. So think of the other way, why AI is critical for health services. Meaning you could just walk to a hospital, actually, get the doctor to look at it. But you're talking about living in Bombay, Chennai, Delhi, or even Trichy, Coimbatore, or any of those other cities, where the doctors' hospitals are much abundant, and you can get the services. But if you go even like 100, 200 miles from any of these cities, Even in US, it's a very similar challenge actually. You will get hospitals, but you will not get the proper treatment actually. And how can, that's one of the areas where the AI can help actually. Like the doctor can work with the remote devices actually, which can monitor and tell the doctor what is going on, how it is there, and how. So that lack of doctors, availability of doctors is very, very critical. So that's one area. And then the other areas where there are conflicts actually, the conflict areas, there is no doctors actually, there's literally very, very minimal support there. And also cost of healthcare. Every time you go to an hospital or wherever, where you get the services, the cost is very high. So one of the ways AI can help is to reduce the cost. Actually, so many of the simple things that can be done through the AI. AI, what I mean by is AI as not just as a software or a service. It also combines with an hardware and your mobile phone and all of that stuff. That whole entire AI ecosystem. Access to healthcare is one of the biggest challenges. Actually, why AI is very, very critical. The self-healthcare. So the blood pressure, actually, I've seen my wife or many of my friends have the blood pressure. The challenge is they feel uncomfortable, but then you go and check the blood pressure monitor. What happens if the blood pressure monitor is not there? So that's where this AI with a wearable which continuously monitors yours. You are not doing anything. It monitors your blood pressure, and then when it sees a sensitivity that there is a challenge is happening, immediately it will notify you, and you can also enable it to notify your your provider actually, or sorry, your provider like a doctor or whoever your therapist or whoever you're working with. Another area where I saw a great value in why AI is very important is, remember the Sophia. Similarly, Jibo is another social robot. So it kind of fun-fillingly works with the seniors. When you are above the age of 85, 90, a lot of people try to live in assisted living. It is very high in US. I'm also seeing it in India also, it's growing. So when that happens, assisted living, one of the things they want is like a mental support actually. They want to be able to talk to somebody, get some connection. It is a little bit of a play toy. It kind of helps them to have a joke or listen to something. They also, even in assisted living, they go interact with other people, but then sometimes they want to be alone, do whatever actually. So that's kind of, so the robotics is slowly the AI is evolving in a way that it can work with people, seniors actually. And then the digital transformation is also one of the areas where AI is possible, a lot more possible now compared to what was before. And especially pandemic increased the digitalization heavily, actually, unbelievably heavily. So lot of people are ready to move to the digital side. When you do the digital, you get the AI can be applied much more, and especially on the data side of it, actually, you get the accurate data or close to accurate data right from the source, right from the people. So the one of the key areas in the accessibility, hyper convenient, what I want, meaning as an individual, what do I want? I need this. I'm ready to pay extra money. I need this kind of service. So the other major area relating to the digital services where AI can help is logistics. Actually, there are some. I have seen. I have heard or read in the news. This was like 5-10 years ago. A 7-year-old kid died for no reason other than he had a snake bite, but the medication was not available. Even though the medication was close by, available in another hospital, they didn't have that information. So that digitalization and integration of digital data helps quite a bit, actually. On top of it, AI can detect and provide that support, actually. Value-based care, that's another area where the AI people are helping AI. One of the areas of the value-based healthcare is if a patient comes to the doctor or an hospital, you don't want that same patient come back to the hospital within the 30 days. So that is one of the key areas we are heavily, all the healthcare technology providers are working on actually. So they want to provide digital tools and AI-enabled analytics so that how do you make sure that care is provided when they are in the hospital or they come to the hospital so that they don't need to come back for the same treatment or same stuff within 30 days. Follow-up is different, but if you have to redo this and do that, we made a mistake. So that's one area there is a heavy value-based is happening, and AI could be a great player in that. So, and I was kind of thinking through the high level, there may be more use cases also, but at a very, very high level, where the AI in healthcare is happening is, as I said, health checkup, health monitoring, therapy, emergency health, pharma, telehealth and diagnosis. So these areas is heavily it's doing. So what we did like 5-6 years ago, we built a technology to help seniors take medication actually. And not only seniors, there are some schizophrenia patients and other dementia and other patients, they don't take medication. One of the reasons they don't take medication is they always come up with reasons like I have a side effect. So, I'm not going to take it because I had a severe headache. So, but the problem is they had a severe headache, they didn't take the medication, but they didn't tell the doctor. So doctor has no clue that they didn't take the medication for 3 days. Many of the schizophrenia patients having problem is mainly because they don't take the medication at the right time, whatever the prescribed mechanism is. So we built an application, which is AI-based application, to provide or nudge the patient continuously to make sure that they take the medication actually, at the right time. If they don't take the medication, it immediately asks them to get the feedback. It keeps asking until they give some feedback and then connects them to the patient to have a video conference. So there is a lot of power into this use cases for the AI healthcare. And I'm going to look at I took this one topic where the AI heavily gets involved and also has an amazing or tremendous impact is the wearables actually. So one type of wearable is the fitness tracker actually. So the fitness tracker, what it does is it also does multiple things. One is it has built-in sensors. The sensor tracker uses physical activity and heart rate and all of that stuff. And one of the key value of the AI there is it can look at your physical activity or non-activity. And then my watch, like every day tells me that I have to, every hour actually, I forget, meaning I keep working, I forget. Sometimes I sit in this one place for 13 hours actually. So when I do that, I forget to stand or do activities actually. So it kind of triggers me, hey, you've been sitting in one place for almost an hour actually now. So it's time for you to stand up at least for a minute actually. So that kind of that fitness mechanism and the tracking and telling you, and there is variants actually. There is like a Fitbit, Amazon Fit, Garmin, and many fitness tracker mechanisms are there. They track a lot of stuff: stress tracking, relaxation, like your breathing style. All of that is happening. So one thing we used to complain is, the battery is very weak, and I have to charge every day. So those things are also changing. Like, some of these products can go up to 40 days for battery life, actually. So they do very specific, they've optimized, they did a lot of things have done. And then the other one is the health watches, actually. If you look at health watches, in another 2 years, they're predicting it's 50 million users will be there. That's almost like, 1/4 or 1/5 of US population actually in US. Same thing in India also. I'm seeing a lot of this wearable watches people are buying it and using it. And the more people use it, the cost will come down. And of course, it may not be every watch everything is possible, but there will be some, at least, if you have a blood pressure, at least blood pressure monitoring, continuous monitoring, or if you have a heart attack possibility, then monitoring that, that kind of various ones. Actually, if you look at the Samsung Galaxy Watch, it has a tracking for heart and sleep monitoring, stress monitoring. It's pretty interesting. Same thing, the Fitbit website has a mental health tracking, exercises, movement reminders, all that is happening. Same thing, Apple Watch. If you look at oxygen level, health rate, ECG, it's very powerful. And the importance of this is the data is like right there where it happens. Actually, immediately you get that. The accuracy is much higher. And then with the accuracy, you can actually build, there are a lot of AI application is built, and it also paired with the mobile application or your desktop or a cloud application to give you a larger opportunity to make it better, actually. So the other one is ECG monitors. It's amazing the amount of ECG monitors has become very simple, easy to use, and smaller also. So one of the examples I put in here, Omron's, AliveCode's Cardia Mobile. That is a ECG monitor, which is very, very small. You just put the two fingers and then your mobile phone with a small electrode into your knee and stuff. Immediately you can do an ECG for 15 minutes, actually. That, and they even cleared to be used as a, even in the remote hospitals, actually, that can be used, actually, and individually at home. So if somebody is susceptible to heart patient, this is a much, much better way to understand what is going on. Some of my friends, I have lost them because they had a heart attack or cardiac arrest, but they didn't know, their family didn't know there was a cardiac episode is happening. And this kind of devices will help people to detect before that happens. Because if you look at the cost of the device, it's much, much cheaper compared to your life, actually. I'd rather you live than spending this additional money. And that is a continuous, and some of these devices are long-lasting devices. If you buy this device, this will come for 3-4 years, actually. And the other one is the in-clinic also, the ECG monitors, very small ones, remote patient monitoring, all that can be done. So again, think about AI not in cities alone, actually. Smart cities and cities are good, but India kind of country or Africa or South America or even US, in middle portion of the US, it's like a vast area of like a remote areas, not many technology advancements there. But the patient healthcare is critical, actually. That's where the AI comes into play. And for AI to work properly, this data monitoring is very, very critical. And then there is other completely different spectrums is the biosensor, actually. So these biosensors are not fully, meaning it's still up and coming. And one of the things which I liked about is the COVID, actually. The Philips biosensor is used in COVID-19 patients in hospitals also. And wearable biosensors are becoming more and more popular, actually. So there are biosensors which are like maybe a one-time use, and it gives you the feedback also. And so it kind of helps the doctor and the patient to interact, actually, because of this sensor. It can provide the feedback to them, and then they provide. So if you go to an hospital in a modern city, in a bigger hospitals, they have a lot of stuff. Meaning, recently I have to take my daughter to emergency, but when I went in there, it was so confusing, actually. There's so many wires, so many monitors, so many data. And they can control and monitor the data from anywhere in the world, actually, as long as it's connected. So it's very, very powerful on how much data and again, these are all real-time data, meaning it's just happening, and then they are able to take that data. The AI can make a decision, not a decision, at least a suggestive decisions, and then tell the patient, tell the doctor and tell the caregiver, saying, hey, these are all things can be done. These are all the opportunities. And also the AI can provide a prescription, actually, saying, hey, this is a potential medication. And another advancement in the AI, which I'll show later, where even if the doctor prescribes you a medication, the AI can analyze that medication and give you an alternate, or it can also tell you what the side effects are on top of it, equivalent of another medication with a lesser side effect for a particular scenario you are in, actually. So it's pretty amazing. The AI, there are technologies and the apps and applications built on using these kinds of data, provide you much more targeted, event-based solutions for individuals. So the other one is the blood pressure monitor. And I'm 100% sure, at least either you or your relative, like very close relatives, have blood pressure. That has become a common mantra. No, diabetic and blood pressure is almost for everybody in India. And also I've seen it here also a lot, actually. So there are many devices, like the devices which can continuously monitor, alert you, and similar to the other heart rate and so on, the blood pressure is another critical area. These monitors are providing the data. So similarly, AI is using this data and give them the continuous, feedback and alertness, actually, to provide. So the blood pressure also, similar to the diabetic, low sugar is a challenge too, and the same way low blood pressure is a challenge also. So the high blood pressure has an impact, the low pressure also has an impact. And why are wearables are very powerful? We really think about it now. Why AI on healthcare is so powerful? Because of wearables, actually. Long back, it's personal. That's the main thing. It's the patient's life when another data is sent, meaning the wearables is tightly connected to your hand, which closely monitors you, actually. So the wearables, since I almost wear it until the sleep, I don't use it, but in reality, sleep also we should use it. The advantage of sleep is if you don't sleep thoroughly, meaning if you are twisting and turning and getting up and you're not, so that monitoring helps quite a bit, actually, meaning you could do all kinds of. The sleep is a major issue for many people in the world. It's a huge problem. The wearables kind of detects how you are sleeping, and I'm amazed. There is an app called Sleepwatch, and now Apple also provides some support on that. But when I wear it on sleep, it detects exactly when I went into deep sleep, when I don't have deep sleep, when I am twisting and turning, actually, it kind of monitors and tell you, and you can see that over a week or a month, what time of the day is it, because it is hot temperature, or it is cold, or it is like, the sound is causing the problem. So all this stuff it can provide you, actually. It isn't, so the main thing it's an advantage that makes wearables powerful, actually, where people take like the phones and wearable to bathroom, actually, so it's continuously with you, actually. And also it focuses on the healthy habits, actually, whether you are walking, when you are eating, and all that stuff can be maintained, actually, managed, and including the diabetes. The majority of the illness, actually, or the medical conditions like diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, wearables are making it much, much bigger. That's why it is very powerful. That's where the AI plays an important role. And the advancement is very, very high in that region, actually. And as I said before, continuous data collection. So if you have enough data, you can build enough models and dynamic models and give the support, the AI support, what is needed. And there is a question of like, why the risk, actually, can you just put the wearables in your leg or wherever, utilized for a couple of services. The wrist is a convenient place to display vital information. That's one of the major areas. If there is an impact, whatever impact, immediately you can turn and look at the watch actually. Wearable tech will become, so more and more people are adopting actually. And wearables, it's easy view. While you are working without having to stop, immediately look at it, arms move closely. So it not only when you are at home, you're running, hiking, biking. So the AI technology is adopting and evolving in terms of how the person's activity. See, it's not like the static data, you send it out to us and then we do an analysis, we run through a machine learning models and give you a result. That's not what it is. Here, you may be like in hiking in a mountain, and it gives you feedback right there. Actually, it doesn't have to go back to the cloud to calculate. It does everything within the paired watch and the phone. It can give you all kinds of responses based on the sensors. And surveyed by many of the providers, they are all supporting wearable technology. Why it is critical? Because if the AI technology has to evolve, the majority is the providers, like the physicians, the insurance, all of these guys have to support this wearable usage for the illness monitoring and supporting and giving a treatment actually. All that stuff, it's very important. So when you go to let's say you are wearing the wearables, you went to the annual checkup, the doctor said, hey, you have to watch all that stuff. So earlier, normally, like 10 years back and so on, my doctor always said, oh, put it in a notepad, write it when you did a walk, how many miles and everything, and then come back and show me that actually, I am one of the lazy guys. I'm like, I never did that. But today, I don't need to, meaning I just wear it and then I go to the doctor, he clicks on my app and he immediately sees, how many miles I walk every day and how much rest I took, all of that stuff. It's pretty powerful for him. And he can also notify him on where I am lacking actually, so maybe Mondays I'm not walking actually, all that stuff, the AI automatically predicts and understands. And then if it is a rain, you probably don't walk, then it can suggest that, hey, do other alternate ways actually, so. And then the other question, so if AI has to work, then the patient has to do some work. The patients don't do. The top 5 reasons the patients say I don't do it because patient technical issues. They don't know how to use the wearables. Oh, I don't know how to charge it, how to connect it. And so that challenge is still there. But the technology is evolving. As I said, AI is evolving in a level that patient doesn't have to understand the technology behind it. They just use it actually. So data not being accurate, that's one of the complaints. They say, hey, it tells me that I have this much temperature, but I really don't have this temperature. The heart rate it says and what I have seem to be different. So those, because you think about it, these wearables are very, very sensitive, small. A lot of technologies is created is slightly different, actually, different advanced mechanisms. Whereas when you go to a doctor and sit down and measure, it's very different, actually. So there will be some variance, and AI, they are applying AI to kind of manage that variance and make it close to accurate. And they don't wear the device properly. It will be slightly loose, or there will be water will be there, moisture might cause some problems. And then also there are times where there is a false alarm. Actually. So when the false alarm repeats and the user doesn't use it, actually, that impacts. So the data collection stops. When the data collection stops, obviously AI will not work. And then they also worried about the security and privacy concern. That's very common, actually. Many people think about, hey, my data is getting robbed by somebody, or are they publicly publishing it to other places where I don't want to publish. So those kinds of things also will be there, actually, you know? But this is more like it depends on the impact, you know. If I have a lifetime kind of illness, actually, you know, then I probably am okay with all this stuff, so that I want to continue using it, actually, to get healthy, you know, live longer, actually. And then there is another key areas is health versus medicine, actually, you know. How do you differentiate that? So it's better to have a better health. The wearable technology is much more focuses on the health care, actually, as opposed to providing medicines, actually. So the healthcare gives benefits, healthy lifestyle, you know, preventing diseases, reducing the impact of the disease. So like a physician's care cannot be replaced. But at the same time, the wearable technology and the AI associated with that, what it does is it reduces the impact on the disease for the patient, and also helps the physician to better monitor, better provide the medications and the follow-ups and so on, actually. And especially the lifestyle changes, actually, what is needed for the diabetic and the hypertension and those kinds of patients, and also for the mental health patients, actually. You know, it's very, very important. And the stress is another major area, actually. And short-term results, you know, quickly get the results. That's one of the key areas of, you know, tracking exercise. You feel better immediately, you know, like hey, it says, no, go for a 1 mile walk or a 3 miles walk, and then it gives you the feedback, which makes you better, actually, you know, based on that. And then this is the interesting part, actually, you know, where there may be will, but not a will. So people want to do it. Yeah, a smartwatch prompts me to stand up, but I'm in a meeting where I can't stand up. Or it tells you to sleep, you know, sleep well, sleep like, you know, 3 hours or 5, whatever, 8 hours, 6 hours. But the problem is the ambient sound probably causing you not to sleep, or the light, actually, or where you are located, or you are traveling. So some of those things, even though people are interested, the patients, one is not doing at all, and then the patients are interested in doing it, but then there may be ambience. So this is more on habitual stuff. You know, you need to change your lifestyle. To just wearing wearables is not going to help you. What wearables and the AI tells you, you need to listen to it. And then the third one is you need to adjust your lifestyle so that you can better practice that, actually. And then I kind of put this topic, I talked about this before also, the challenges in AI healthcare, especially ethical, actually. No, it's very important that ethical is critical on that, because if the ethical is not there on the health AI, then the trust will not be there. So one of the key areas is explainability. You need to be transparent. What is the AI doing to give you that experience? Fairness, actually, no, it cannot be. The fairness is very important, because you cannot skew your results and things to one sector or one segment, actually. And then the robustness actually has to be there. It always has to be as close to accurate, actually, you know, and secure. Transparency, you know, the trust, really, really important that these AI in healthcare, the trust is critical, actually. The trust has to be happen, transparency and privacy. As I said, even before, people stop using AI if the privacy is not there, actually. So that can be educated, actually. You know, that's where the explainable AI comes into play. It can be educated, but you need to be very clear as a provider, as a service developer, or a advancement in the AI on the healthcare. You need to do that. The bias, actually, there is a bias in artificial intelligence. So AI literacy through society. See, one of the key, transparency is very important, because think about it, actually. There are some experiments was done. The AI was suggesting outcomes on the healthcare only tuned for Caucasian Caucasian male actually. They're not taking into consideration like people from Asia, people from India, people from Africa or South America. So what was happening is all the medications and so on, the suggestions and what they do with the AI, it was tuning to that. That's because the data set, majority of data set is based on the race actually, So if in US, majority population is Caucasian population. So that is the data available. So if the data is available, then AI is kind of biasing towards that actually. So there are a lot of researches going on, a lot of mechanisms are getting built to make AI much more open on the healthcare, especially healthcare. I'm very particularly talking about healthcare because the food, what one race uses was other race uses very different actually. And then the body, genes and everything, it's very different. So based on that, the AI needs to take that into consideration, and then the data set variance and all that stuff has to happen actually. And then to look at in the key players in the healthcare, there are like say 5 key players actually. Government is very important actually. They need to help the adopting in the AI and the healthcare. Life sciences, many companies are there in the life sciences, which is also doing. Payers is the insurance actually. They are also getting involved heavily. And earlier, they were always trying to optimize the number of cases and so on. Now they are getting into the value-based areas actually, the experience, like the user experience, the patient experience. And then the providers actually, the clinicians, how they can use AI to make a decision. So think about it. If you go to a doctor, if the doctor has enough data and also the help of the AI in terms of the decisions, actually, what to be done, what is available. And then when he goes into the, see the patient, he has enough information so that he can have a much more knowledgeable questions to the patient to get kind of validation and then provide a value-based services actually. And then the employers also kind of helping the patient, meaning if you are working somewhere, many companies are providing health technologies and wearables so that you will be healthy. If you have a healthy employee, the company benefits also, and the employee benefits too. Actually. So I'm taking a slightly different angle just for next few slides more on the technology side in terms of the development. So let's say if you want to build AI on there's various platforms actually. As I said, there are 2 things which I love, starting like 2017 or probably 2016, is the growth and the scale in which growth is happening on the AI in terms of the technology, tools, frameworks, and so on. It's pretty amazing, actually. You can go from no AI knowledge or even having a practical implementation to really have an application built working anywhere from 1 day to 1 week, actually. You could get to and the scaling also, if you have a support of somebody in the DevSecOps, the scaling can be done much faster also. So that's also there. There are frameworks which makes it much easier for like a SageMaker or TensorFlow or H2O. They all provide you all kinds of values actually. And this is one thing which I really love it because edge, as I said, edge can, so you were, say, in general, if you long back, even now, when something happens, we immediately kind of look for an ambulance, actually. So think of your car as an ambulance. That's where the world is going, actually. Like the car has enough AI, enough information, and your phone and your wearable. Your car is pretty much, except for oxygen and all that stuff, but even that is now doable. So your car automobile with your lamppost being the 5G can do all kinds of stuff actually. Your car itself is a 5G mechanism actually, going forward. So of course we are a little bit long way to go, but it's happening actually. The edge healthcare is becoming more and more powerful actually. And then there are companies actually. Just put it here just to say, no, there are pharma companies, AI companies, which is building the technology, and then there's tech companies. So there are product companies and the tech companies, and also the investors. This whole ecosystem is growing leaps and bounds actually, almost on a daily basis. And this is a very simplified application architecture which people could use. One is, the data source, apps, and sensors. We talked about all the sensors and so on. That's where the data is getting generated. Cortana is one example, which is the Microsoft product. And there are other ones also, like the TensorFlow, there is SageMaker, Comprehend on AWS side. And then what it can impact is the people or application or automated system. So that's the action. So this is the kind of AI is happening right from the wearables to other data, whatever data we can collect from these, and then this whole impact can be done. And it is done by many products actually. Now, another example is the SageMaker. Now, SageMaker the same way, prepare, build, train, and deploy. So this is a platform which you can use to build machine learning, AI technologies for healthcare. And there is another one called Health Lake by AWS, which has pretty much did a lot of stuff. One of the great value of that is you can even take a prescription document and take a photo and upload it there. It kind of understands the whole thing using the scanning and OCR and all of that stuff, and it takes the prescription and takes the medication, it compares the medication with its database and gives you an alternate and standards and what is the recommended mechanism. All that stuff happens like completely automated. And some of the deployment, how do you deploy? So this is the integration to the EMR actually, If you have a health data, there is a standardization called FHIR. So with the FHIR, you can actually interact with the platform patient data once they give permission. Then using the AI, it can do all kinds of stuff. It can give you the quick insight. It can give you details about what is happening to you or your beloved ones, whatever is known. So this Health Lake with EHR is very powerful actually in terms of the AI. Same thing, SageMaker actually. This is another implementation which is more on the EHR, and then you do a direct connect. Again, this is AWS. You can do the same thing in Azure. You can do the same thing in Google. So here, the SageMaker actually uses some machine learning models and all that. You can. This is more on the development side. You can use all kinds of other ones also. So now we are. I went through a lot of stuff. So I'll stop here, and if you guys have any questions. So do you guys have any questions for me?
Any question from the audience? You can post in chat box or unmute and you can ask. Yes. If you have understood something, yeah. Someone saying it is very informative. Excellent. Okay. Someone post some questions. Yes, Vijay Venkatesh from MCA or MSc. because you are currently having this paper as well. Are you there? Alive? Yes. So one point
Ma'am, you have muted yourself. Can you please unmute and talk?
As we have started, for us it is 10 o'clock we have started. Of course, we are awake. I should thank Namashivayam for being very patient and very dedicated, and of course he has got the passion to give whatever he has, his knowledge is to share with the people. His time is now, for your kind information, 12:30 p.m. midnight.
No, 2 p.m.
So, yeah.
2 a.m.
Oh,
2 a.m.
2 a.m. Oh, yeah. So it is 2 a.m. See that much dedication and that much passion he has got. So make use of his expertise, and really, people, if you want to gain something from that person, yeah, some question is coming. Can wearables detect a blood blockage in our nerves using AI? Very nice question.
Yeah, that's a good question. I haven't seen any, but I'm sure there may be some actually. I'll see if I can find out actually. As far as I know, all the research I've done, I haven't seen a wearables one. But even though I said that there is a company in Joho, J-O-G-O, Joho, is a company in Chennai now. They were in US. They started a huge operation in Chennai, and they are heavily focusing on that actually for for AI, using AI also. They're well-funded company, a startup actually. They are the only company in the world. Harvard also approved their test results. You need to validate with the startup, but they did a mechanism where, let's say if somebody has a stroke or a blockage, they have a mechanism and medications and a practice to make it to solve that actually. So if needed, I can connect you guys to that company actually.
Somebody would want to unmute and ask question? You're welcome. Yes, you can go ahead with any of your doubts. Even it can be silly. Don't worry. This is the platform. You can. Thank you, Malati. And for your kind information, I should thank Principal of SA Arts and Science College, who has arranged this lecture in such a way that she has made 2 rooms with 150 students, and she has given this lecture in a projector. So that much enthusiasm they have shown to this particular lecture. I should thank the principal, as well as I should thank Namashivayam for having given a wonderful session in the morning for us, of course. And of course, for you, it is early morning, very, very early morning. And many are appreciating that very informative session. And I hope that all the participants, all the delegates can make use of his expertise. Of course, he will share his mail ID so that you can contact this person anytime. underline in
Thank you, Dr. Swarnam. Thank you all. I hope it was helpful for you, and feel free to reach out in case if you have any questions on the discussion itself, on the talk.
Thank you, Mr. Shiva,
Oh,
for your
Lavanya, how are you?
continuous support to our department. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, yeah, you know me. I'm like, I love the department. So kind
Yeah,
of changed my whole life actually. So very, very important actually for me. Now I'm very appreciative of the continuous things you guys are doing. It's really awesome to see there is so much activities happening on the technology side, advancement, and also for the students, it's a great opportunity, to know the what is happening in the real life scenario. Instead of waiting till finishing the college, getting to know before they leave, that makes it much better for them. So they can reach out to me if they have questions also, and I'm available on the LinkedIn. So in case if anybody wants to connect on the LinkedIn also, it's fine. I guess Swarnam got disconnected. Is that...
Yeah, there's some power problem, it seems, at our place.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Jenny, are you available?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for such a brainstorming session. We learned a lot about the theory behind Sophia, real-time applications of artificial intelligence, deep learning, and machine learning. Artificial intelligence applications in healthcare, limitations overcome by artificial intelligence in real time, and the best use cases in artificial intelligence and its challenges. Thank you so much, sir. We have acquired much knowledge, and it will be much helpful for our research also. Thank you, sir.
Thank you all. Good day. Bye.
Yeah, thank you, sir, and good morning to you. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Emma, Jenny, we can continue. Jenny?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, shall we continue?
Yes, ma'am, but Mary ma'am hasn't joined it, ma'am. So I'm just waiting for
I
her,
just
ma'am.
contact. 1 minute.
The ma'am has joined. MS ma'am has joined, is it?
Yeah, I am here. But
Okay.
in my room, that power has gone. I have come to another room.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. I'll just check.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We had a nice session in the morning. Very good session.
Yeah, thank you so much. Video on பண்ணேன். Yes. So welcome, Dr. Mary. Audio. Okay. Am I audible?
Yeah, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay. Mary ma'am, shall we start? Connected. Recording is going on. No? Power has come here, luckily. I think she's getting connected. No, not it. So within a few minutes, Mary ma'am will be joining now. So it's really a pleasure for conducting this kind of session, of course, through online mode. And the first speaker happened to be our own department alumnus. And we are very fortunate to have him here. And of course, the participants also, I think they would have felt that the right person has been asked to give. And this session also will be very interesting. And to be frank, I request the participants to ask questions. Thereby, your knowledge will get enlarged. So don't think that it is very silly or it's not vital. Whatever the question, where your any doubts can be clarified by the expert persons. So that is why we are arranging webinars like this. So make use of the opportunity, particularly student community and the research scholars. You can make your doubts really cleared here. And lot of project ideas also you can get through by posting some questions. So make use of the chance. Don't miss the chance. Video. Party, great grandma Avayar told, Katrathu kaiyalavu, kalladadu ulagalavu. So what we have learned is handful. What we need to learn is the entire universe level. So always think that we need to learn. We need to learn. Even from a small bit of matter in this world, you will be learning something. So don't think that anything is useless. whatever available in this universe, you can learn. So that kind of an open mind you should keep yourself, and surely you will get some kind of an input from that. And also the entire world is looking at India and its young minds. And we are fortunate that other countries and they are flourishing and glorying our beauty of India, the culture as well as the knowledge, what our ancient forefathers have given us. Really, we are fortunate to be born in India. And because of this holy land, many of the people are flourishing worldwide. So the entire world is looking at us. So make use of this opportunity of the sessions, whatever the webinar we are giving you. Those who are participating, I hope that you will be much enriched with person. Of course, it is a central university and they have got a lot of responsibilities as well. And in her busy schedule, she has agreed to be with us. So really that is a boon for us. So that is why I grabbed Madam to share her knowledge at this juncture. Chitra ma'am, you can speak.
So good afternoon and happy afternoon, everybody. I'm happy to join as a part of University Grants Commission Human Resource Development Center, University of Madras, for the session Introduction to Explainable AI. Convener of this program is Dr. M. Sornam. So we have morning session which has been poured the information about the artificial intelligence in the healthcare and real world and wearable devices. So our resource person, Mr. Namachivayam, has brought out both the glimpses of how AI has been part of our life in day to day. So this is the technology which everyone has to learn and everyone has to work on it. And we need to provide certain outcomes which is useful for the mankind. In the morning session itself, our resource person has brought about wearable devices for the patients and elderly people and how they could wear the wearable devices, AI, and how the diseases could be monitored and what are the heart attacks and other things. Watch, smartwatch. He was talking about smartwatch and other things. Everything is highly useful for the society time to time. So it would we need to know how this technology could be arrived, right? So the purpose of conducting this type of webinar is to talk about the technology. Since we are all ITNs, we need to know how to effectively implement these programs. For this purpose only, on behalf of the Department of Computer Science and UGC HRTC, University of Madras, we are providing a lot of information based on
Morning, madam.
introduction.
Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Dr. Shanti. Welcome. Our resource person has joined. Welcome to our program.
Welcome, Mary ma'am.
Yeah, welcome, madam. Thank
Welcome.
you. I'm sorry for the delay.
No problem, no problem.
It's only a few minutes, no issues at all.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see all my dear friends' faces.
Yeah, it's a platform for us to get connected, though we are distance apart.
Yeah.
Thank you. Shall we start?
Yeah, we can start, madam.
Yes.
We love to greet and welcome the guest. I request
Professor Dr. M. Sarna Ma'am, Department of Computer Science, University of Madras, to welcome the speaker of the session too.
Thank you. So really, I am very much honored and delighted to welcome my dear friend and colleague, Dr. Mary from Gandhigram Rural Institute, deemed to be university, funded by central government. Really, in the midst of her busy schedule, she has agreed to be with us. Thank you, Dr. Mary, for being with us. And now I'll do the religious duty of introducing her to you all. She has got more than 15 years of teaching experience and 70 publications in national and international journals, conferences, and her recent publication is in Computational Intelligence and Neuroscience, which is a SciIndex journal with impact factor 3.6. Her research areas of interest are image compression, information security, biometrics, computational biology, and deep learning. She has guided 4 PhD scholars and 3 in pipeline. Google Scholar citation, she has got 260 and H-index 9, I9. She has served in various academic commitments in designing the curriculum for BSc, MCA, and MPhil programs as well. She has also served as a reviewer for peer-reviewed international journals and conferences. She is a life member of Indian Society for Technical Education. She has authored 1 book, 10 chapters, and edited 3 books. She has the credit of being the Associate Project Director of UGC Indo-US 21st Knowledge Initiative Project and co-principal investigator of Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission Teaching Project. Of course, for the lead, she is a lead coordinator of GRIHA, that is Gandhigram Research Incubator on Healthcare and Agriculture Applications, and has organized many workshops and training programs on artificial intelligence as part of Leading India AI project, a nationwide initiative for popularizing artificial intelligence and skilling all over India. I hope that we have called the right person at the right time. And now over to Madam Mary. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Madam, for the nice introduction. And I thank the organizing team for giving me this wonderful opportunity. So today, shall I mute my video, Madam, for good connectivity?
Sure, ma'am.
Let me share the PPT. So today my topic is, I'm going to discuss about one of the very interesting and emerging topic, that is explainable AI. Is my voice audible?
No, yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
PPT visible.
Okay, my voice is also audible. Okay, madam. So explainable AI. So it's a fascinating word nowadays. So before we move on to explainable AI, let us discuss about the innovations of artificial intelligence. So we all know that artificial intelligence is a branch of computer science for designing and developing machines that exhibit human intelligence. So at the core level, we can say that it is the science and engineering of making intelligent machines. So it is purely interdisciplinary in nature. So because of its interdisciplinary nature, it has been successfully engaged to provide solutions to solve a wide variety of problems in the fields of agriculture, healthcare, weather forecasting, banking. So the list goes on. Now, the question is, can we always accept the predictions made by the artificial intelligence systems? And we all know that artificial intelligence has had has made a huge impact in our real life. So it, in addition to making critical decisions in the field of, say, safety critical systems and healthcare, it is making decisions for us. We can say that it forces us to make some crucial decisions. So we are becoming slaves to artificial intelligence. So as we know that now, as I said earlier, there is no field which is not penetrated by artificial intelligence. We have symbolic artificial intelligence, statistical artificial intelligence, and now the new emerging and interesting one, explainable AI. So what are the factors that drive this rapid advancement of AI? Because of the availability of powerful GPU architectures, and we are, because of abundance in data due to big data, and then cloud infrastructure and robust algorithms. These are the crucial factors that drive breakthrough innovations in the field of artificial intelligence. So as we all know, we should see how artificial intelligence is impacting our day-to-day life. So we all know that there is no one can say in the whole world without a smartphone. So we always use smartphones. Now we stop talking to our friends, right? But we always interact with our smartphones. So these are some of the impacts of AI in our life. So Facebook. So we use Facebook. Now Facebook recommends which post we should see. Because suppose if I'm looking for, say, interpretable machine learning or explainable AI, so whenever I log into this YouTube or Facebook, immediately it recommends some of the videos related to it. So sometimes we'll be forced to watch it. And then Amazon, it recommends which products we should purchase. Sometimes we may not be in a position to purchase, but we'll be forced to. We'll be attracted towards the product advertisements. So that makes us purchase the products. And then Google AI map. So it recommends which route we should take. So sometimes it happens that just to go to a street or just 10 kilometers from our place, from our residence, Google map may route us to a different route, which may take like half an hour. So, but we blindly follow Google map. Netflix. So it recommends which movies you can watch. So these are all AI-based systems. So based on the user preferences, the recent watch, so based on that, it recommends movies. So these are movies you can watch. These movies have been released recently. So finally, we are forced to watch the movie recommended by Netflix. And weather forecasting. So weather forecasting, it forces us to make decisions, whether it will rain today. So just by looking at the weather forecast, we'll decide whether to go by a two-wheeler or four-wheeler, or if you go by walk, rather to take an umbrella, right? Above all, it forces us to make the crucial decision for selecting our life partner. So there are dating sites and matchmaking sites which recommends or recommends some the candidates for life partner. So there it is making a huge impact. So if artificial intelligence is making decisions for us, so when AI is making critical decisions in our life, say like for healthcare and then driving autonomous cars, etc., then it is equally important to understand why AI is making a particular decision, right? So artificial intelligence, we have allowed artificial intelligence to penetrate in all our walks of life. So in that, if we do so, then we should be very careful whether we are making the right decisions. So we cannot blindly accept the predictions or the recommendations made by artificial intelligence. So what should we do? So the solution is explainable AI. So explainable AI, it makes one to understand how any, okay. So explainable AI, it makes the humans to understand how and why the algorithm makes decisions, as opposed to several alternatives. You may have many alternatives. Suppose if you plan to watch a movie, there may be several alternatives, but our AI will recommend one particular movie, right? And then similarly for critical decision making in the field of healthcare, say for cancer diagnosis, if the AI system gives the result as cancer, even though the system may be 98% accurate. Yeah, yes, madam. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible, ma'am.
Okay.
But your screen is not navigating, ma'am.
Oh,
We can put in slideshow also, ma'am.
okay, madam. I'll try. Earlier it was in slideshow mode, madam, but is it visible now? I'm showing the slide impact of AI in our life.
Visible, but there is no slideshow option, madam. I think you have to go out and you should make it again.
Or she can use the icon next to the current slide, ma'am.
Yeah.
You can use the icon which is next to current slide.
Just a second.
Slideshow.
Okay, slideshow. Yes, madam, I put this slideshow.
Ma'am, in some system, for Zoom, the slideshow is not working.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so what you can do is at the right mode, the tray, you have that current slide symbol, right? That cup symbol, like. Next to it, there is one symbol that you can use so that it will be in the full slide mode.
So that's a problem.
Or you need to rejoin.
Okay, madam.
Like
So I'll
from
rejoin.
current slide, yeah.
Yeah, I'll rejoin, madam. Madam, is it okay now? Madam, are you able to see?
The slideshow mode
Not in
outside,
slideshow, ma'am.
ma'am. You do it slideshow outside, then put it rejoin.
Okay, madam.
You open it in the slideshow mode and you share the screen with that.
Okay, that's fine, madam.
Madam able to join. Huh?
It is visible, ma'am.
Okay, okay, madam. Thank you, madam. Are you able to hear me, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Audible. Audible.
Yes, yes,
Oh.
yes.
So I think we left out the need for explainable AI. So though AI systems are very powerful in making decisions, but still we need to validate it. So how can we trust all AI systems? Because they are by design probabilistic model. So we cannot always rely on the decisions and predictions made by any artificial intelligence system. So there comes this explainable AI. So we all know that artificial intelligence is just a black box. It's a model. We consider it as a black box because we give the input, we get the output. We never know what happens inside. So we cannot open the black box. So what is happening so that we get this final output. So explainable AI is a solution to this. We are going to open up this black box. So if a system makes a decision, then we can ask why did you make this decision? What makes you to do this decision? What happens if there is an error? How do I rectify it? So all these questions will be answered by explainable AI. So now, though we know the breakthrough innovations of AI, now we are moving into this responsible AI. So we are providing many powerful solutions and innovations. We are designing several innovations, but still we are making it as a trustworthy model through explainable AI. So normally what we do, we just we build a model from the training data, say a set of images or a set of textual data. The process, we have applied the learning process, the machine learning or deep learning, and then finally we get an output. But the end user will be confused. Why did you do that? Why do you say that it is a cat? Why not something else? So when do you succeed? When do you succeed? When do you fail? How can I trust you? Right? So these are the questions. So all these questions are answered by this explainable AI. So here in this framework, we have the same learning process, but in between we include this explainable model. So explainability, we include an explainability module within the existing one. So this is a cat. So we say there's a cat. So why do you say it's a cat? We give justification. So what I say this is a cat because it has fur, whiskers, and claws. So suppose if we say that it has a trunk, so it has a trunk, that's why I classify it as a cat, then immediately you can say that the system is wrong. So if the system is able to give justification, then we can trust the particular system. So that comes AI, explainable AI. So now when there is explainability, we understand why the system has made this decision, and I understand why not other alternatives, why not it's a dog, why not it's an elephant, and then I know when you will succeed. So when I know when you will fail, when to trust, etc. So there's some, we know that AI is making decisions for us. Say, given the data, some medical data, the system tells that you will get stroke, 90% stroke. So suppose if you go to a doctor and he says you will get a stroke, what will be your expression without giving any explanation? So now I am fine. How am I going to get stroke? But if the doctor is able to explain, so you have your body mass, you are above 60 years old, or you are diabetic, and your body mass index is higher. So that's the reason I say that you will be getting stroke. So that comes explainability. Similarly, for the end users, we say that given the loan application, your loan is rejected. So the applicant will worry. So why my loan application has been rejected? So if the system is able to answer these questions, because you have a bad credit history, your salary is below a particular threshold. So if you give such a justification, then we will be able to trust the model. So one of the major advantages of explainability AI is building trust on the model. So we are venturing new applications. So as I said earlier, there is no field which is not invaded by artificial intelligence system. So equally, we should be careful on the decisions made by any AI system. So who are the end users? So the target of XAI is an end user who depends on decisions, recommendations. So he needs to understand the rationale of the system's decisions. So thereby it builds trust. So and effectively manage the system. So actually, what is XAI? What is the concept behind explainable AI? It provides an explanation of individual decisions. So it helps to get an understanding of the overall strengths and weaknesses. And it also conveys an understanding on how the system will behave in the future. So if at all, so what are the errors that will be, what are the errors that you may come across? So how do I rectify it? So we have an explainable model and the explainable interface. So this explainable model and the explanation interface will help you in getting the required explanations about the predictions or the justification behind the system's predictions. So again, the same one. So we have earlier we have just a black box process, but explainable AI will provide explanations. So based on the explanations, we may get the feedback. So this feedback will help refine the decision-making process. So this explanation, suppose we say that I say it is a cat because it has a trunk, then that is wrong. The system is wrong. So we need to update the system so that it gives you the correct prediction. So there are so many interpretably examples. So in the field of healthcare, in the domain of healthcare, we are giving the blood test results, and then the machine learning model returns just the presence of pathology. And then suppose if you are applying for car insurance, the machine learning model just gives you the cost of insurance premium without justifying the reasons behind the decision. Now here comes it's a training set. It's a data set of images with wolf, sun, husky. Now the machine learning model will return the decision, or it classifies whether the given image is a wolf or husky. But surprisingly, it has been noted that this particular there is a machine learning algorithm trained with these set of images. It returned wolf as husky. So it's a wrong prediction. So why it's a wrong prediction? The researcher was surprised why my machine learning model is giving a wrong prediction, because the training set, when he analyzed the images in the data set, he could find that the machine learning model, instead of classifying between wolf and husky, it classifies between the images with ice, with snow, and without snow. Unfortunately, all the images, that is all the wolf images, are with snow. So what it happens, it just, even if a husky is with the snow, it returns the image as husky. So these are all some wrong predictions. So the classification model, see, normally we know in unsupervised learning, given the set of images based on the similarity, it groups the data. So here it clusters, it has clustered, this particular machine learning model has clustered all images with snow and without snow. Instead of classifying wolf, or instead of classification between wolf and husky. So that is, these are all some failures that you may face while executing a machine learning model. So, but we know, so explainability, are there no, a question pops up in our mind. Well, are there no explainable techniques available so far? Yes, we have all rule-based techniques. All rule-based techniques, they are explainable. Say, for example, if you take a decision tree, so we know how we arrive at a particular decision. So we start from the root node, say, how does this vehicle move? So you are on a sleigh. So if it's on wheels, how many wheels? 2 wheels, 4. So 2 wheels means, does it have an engine? Then it is a motorcycle. Otherwise, it is a bicycle. So here we are getting clear explanation of our decision, why we are classifying that it is a bicycle. So these are all rule-based systems, but they are not accurate. So though the explainability is high with rule-based and decision tree models, but their accuracy is not acceptable. It's not satisfactory. But on the other hand, neural networks, they provide high accuracy. Their performance is very high, but without explainability. It's a black box. We don't know anything how this neural network model arrives at a particular decision. So in order to have a mix of both, or you can have that is how to bring the best features of these two extremes. So good for, so the expert system, they are good for explanation, but not good for accuracy. On the other hand, neural network, they are good for accuracy, but not good for explanations. So to get the best mix of these two systems, so we look, so researchers tried, and then they designed this explainability AI concept. So any queries so far? Just I've given an intro why the need for explainability. So if you look at this graph, so there's a graph between explainability and prediction accuracy. You could see all deep learning. Deep learning, if you look at the arrow, so it has high prediction accuracy, but very low explainability. On the other hand, decision trees, you could see it has a high explainability, but low accuracy. So the objective of this explainable artificial intelligence is, say, if it is a deep neural network, it's a modified deep learning. We modify it so that to learn explainable features. And then interpretable models to learn more structured, interpretable, and causal models. And then if it is a black box model, techniques to infer an explainable model from any model as a black box. So there are 3 important components of any AI model. So we all know that any AI model will use these are the 3 important components, that is data, predictions, and algorithms. We use data and apply algorithms and get the predictions. But those should be explainable. So if this data, it should be explainable. What data was used to train the model? Why not other data? So if you are using image data set, why not CSV file? Why do you use this particular data set? Right? So even for data, justification for using a particular data set, that is explainable data. And then explainable predictions. So why do you predict this? What features and weights were used for this particular prediction? Which features are responsible for this particular prediction? And then algorithms. So what are the layers? So in algorithms, how many layers do you use? So why do we use this many layers, right? What is the purpose of using this this number of layers? And then what are the thresholds you use? Why do you use such thresholds? So all these are explainable. So any AI model, so in a perfect AI model should be able to explain what data it uses, what kind of predictions and what type of algorithms, and why do you use such algorithms. So interpretive machine learning. So we have both machine learning and deep learning models in AI. So interpretable machine learning. So normally here, whenever we apply a machine learning model, we don't know what happens, but interpretable machine learning, it explains. So it gives techniques to better understand and validate how our machine learning models works. So normally, as we discussed earlier, explainability improves machine learning model. So if you simply give the model and then predictions, it may result in error, but that error will not be taken into account. But if you add the human experience, human feedback with the error, that will result in a good system, whether it's a good system with high performance. So nowadays, the research in explainability AI is increasing every month. So this is the graph that shows the increase in the number of research papers in this field. So it's a new and fascinating topic, fascinating area where the researchers can explore more for cutting edge innovations in this domain. So as here, the need for explainability AI again. So for the end user, how explainability AI is going to help an end user. So 90% stroke without any explanation, it will confuse the patient. But if you are able to give the explanation, because so now the patient may think that I'm fine now, I'm perfect. Why the system gives me that I may have stroke, 90% chances for stroke. So the reason is, so the explainability AI, it provides explanations like your stroke chances are high because your age is greater than 60 and your BMI is greater than 35. And also you have hypertension. So these features, we all know that machine learning model uses the features to predict, to give a decision. So we need to choose which features help us to arrive at this decision. So here the explanation has 3 features. What are they? Age is greater than 60, BMI is greater than 35, and you have hypertension. Or it may give your age is 50 and you are diabetic and high glucose level. So these are the features that made the system to say that you will get stroke. You may get 90% stroke. And then suppose in action, say for example, now your original class loan rejected. Now we can give some counterfactual explanations. What do you mean by counterfactual explanations? So like solution. So normally what do we say to students who failed in the exam? So if you have prepared well, if you have concentrated more on 2 marks question, you will pass in the next exam. So likewise, you may give some counterfactual explanations. If why is my loan rejected, right? So the original input is here. Now, if you increase your income by $10,000, your loan will be approved. So the explanation given is your monthly income is less, is below a threshold. So that is the reason the system rejected your loan. So now there comes the answer. And how the system gives answer? Based on this field income. So if we increase, so if this point, the blue point is moved to yellow, So here actually the horizontal axis, x-axis represents income. So if you increase that income by $10,000, then your loan will be accepted, approved. So there's some interpretable machine learning models, they are able to provide counterfactual explanations. So as this example we discussed earlier, so for developers, they may wonder, so where do I went wrong? So my system wrongly classifies a wolf as husky. So I told the system actually didn't classify between wolves and husky, but it has classified between snow and without snow. So it's a wrong classification. So even if the explanation, if the system gives explanation like this, because of snow, I classified this wolf as husky, then the developer may immediately can check his data set, training data set. So what is our, when he analyzes the data set, he finds that all the images, there are two classes, images with snow and images without snow. So that is the reason the system has wrongly classified wolf as husky. So explainability AI will help the developers for refining or for developing a trustworthy system. So, and as I explained, the AI can be used for regulators also, right? Say normally we all our innovations or new products should comply with this General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR. So write for explanation. Suppose if we have given, if we have launched a new product, then you may as a matter of write for explanation. You can see, you can this explain to AI's explanation will give you trust in your new venture and your new product. So this why explainability AI? It empowers the individual against undesired effects of automated decision making and to implement the right of explanation. So GDPR, it stands for General Data Protection Regulation. And then to help people make better decisions, to make better AI systems, and to preserve and expand AI. So these are the reasons behind the evolution of or the emerging of this discipline, new area, explainability AI. So explainability AI includes the methods and techniques so that we are building human interpretable models. So some other definitions are there for explainability AI. XAI is artificial intelligence in which the results of the solution can be understood by humans. So it contrasts with the concept of black box in machine learning. So where even its designers cannot explain why an AI arrived at a specific decision. So we saw an example for wolf and husky classification. So three important aspects of any explainable AI model is transparency. Actually, this explainable AI is considered as an emerging or transparent AI approach. So it's AI, but transparent AI. So the model interpretation, it is explainability AI incorporates these three features: transparency, the ability to question, and the ease of understanding. So reasonable AI, traceable AI. So it's explainable AI includes all these three. Reasonable AI. So the ability to understand the reasoning behind each individual prediction. And then traceable AI. So the ability to trace the production process. So suppose if we go wrong, or a system wrongly classifies, or some wrong diagnosis, then that could be traced based on the explanation. And then understandable AI. So understandable AI. So if my loan is rejected, I understand why my loan application is rejected. So it includes all these three components: reasonable AI, traceable AI, and understandable AI. So normally, these are the four important concepts or components we may consider. So how this explainability AI? So in terms, so the models can explain, can provide explanations. So in terms of visual representation. So explainability can be in the form of visual explanations, and then based on the feature importance, and then third one based on the data points, and then the last one based on some simple model built around a complex model. So so far we discussed what is AI and then why do we need explainable AI. So here, how explainable AI can be implemented. So explainability can be done by all these 4 ways. You can give visual explanations, or you can give explanation in terms of feature importance, that is the information about the features that contribute to this decision, or the data points that contribute to this decision, and finally a particular part of the model or a part of the image that is responsible for this particular decision. So when you talk about this visual explainability, we have, so now we use graphs like scatter plots. So in this case, we have the strong different types of scatter plots. So it is also a kind of visual explanation, how the points are clustered. So it's a linear model. So here strong positive correlation, weak positive correlation, and then strong negative. So we are able to see those data points which have high data points having high correlation, high positive correlation and negative correlation, etc. So when you talk about explainability AI, as I said, what are the explanation type, and then the data type, scope, and then agnosticity. So we have now 2 different types of models when you are implementing XAI. So there's explanation type that we discussed now, and then model type, whether it is model specific or it could be applied to any model. What kind of data we use, whether we are using text data, Tableau data, or image data. And then the last one, scope, whether it is local or whether the explanation is with respect to a local variable or as a whole. So model types. What are the 2 model types? We have agnostic model and model specific. I'm sorry, there is some misalignment in the slide. So model agnostic, it means it can be applied to any kind of model. So it's not model specific. So it's good examples for agnostic model types are LIME. Actually, it's local interpretable model agnostic explainability, and then Shapley additive explanations. Actually, it's Shapley values. We use the Shapley values for giving explanations. So model agnostic can be applied to any model, but model specific is designed for a particular specific model such as neural networks. So what are the techniques used for model specific explainability or layer wise relevance prediction and integrated gradients? For agnostic model, we use LIME and SHAP. And then the scope. So we discussed how do you explain what are the visual representation. There is explanation type, and then the 2 types of models, agnostic and model specific, and then scope. So normally the scope in XAI refers to whether we give explanations aiming, that is whether we are explaining the whole model or just parts of the model for instance individual prediction. Right? So I don't know whether this diagram is visible. So most of the content for this PPT I took from this Explainability AI Explained in YouTube, a very nice series of lectures. So here, local aims to explain just parts of the model. Whereas global, it refers to explanation of the whole model with respect to the complete data set. So local for a particular point. So it localizes a particular point and then gives explanation, right? Whereas global, it refers to the whole model. It gives explanation for the whole model. So that is the scope of XAI. So again, there's so model interpretability can be examined in 2 levels based on the scope. So global interpretation and local interpretation. So global interpretation, it examines the model from a broader perspective, whereas local interpretation, it approach is focused on a particular data point or a particular why this particular data, say why this particular patient has been given this diagnosis. So for a particular data point, we give an explanation. That is local interpretation. Sorry. Okay, first I just give what are the tools available, and then I'll explain each. Just 2, Lime and Shapley in detail. So here, SHAP is another tool for explainability, for building explainability model. So it's based on game theory. So it depends on the principle of marginal contribution of each parameter in the neural network. So I'll come back to this later after explaining Lime. And then we have a what if tool by Google. So here it's a kind of visual explanation. So we just move the points. So we just change the values for the features, and then we visualize how it affects the output, how it affects the prediction. So that is what if tool. Normally here, so it's a overall view of the categories of explainability methods, how it is categorized. So we may have global or local interpretation, and then model can be model specific or model agnostic. So model specific techniques like tree interpretation, and then normally model specific means techniques designed for a particular model. So like for decision trees, we'll be having a particular technique. And then for linear models, we have a different, and then for deep neural networks, we have a different technique. So model specific explainability. And then model agnostic, those are, as I said, it can be this kind of explainability can be applied to any type of models. So most common popular examples for this agnostic explainability are Lime and Shap. Shapley additive explanations, and then local interpretable model explanation, that is Lime. So we'll discuss in detail about this Lime and Shap in the later in the section. So normally how to build a trustworthy model? First we load the data, and then cleaning and pre-processing, we develop the model and then evaluate, and then here comes the explainable model. So whether it's explainable prediction with Shap or Lime, so we implement this explainability after model evaluation. And then finally we visualize and recommendation. So you could see where we have added. So after developing the model, after evaluating the model, we include this explainability module. So you may get a question. You may ask why adding this explainability did add complexity to the model? It's not, because the model is already there. We have developed all the model with the feature data cleaning and then model development. So by training the data set and then using the test data set, we have evaluated the model. So after evaluation, we use the explainability. So some popular model machine learning interpretive techniques are these partial difference plots, Lime, that is local interpretable model, and then sharply additive explanations, class activation mapping, etc. So in addition to that, we have, say, this deep lift and deep sharp are optimized versions, optimized variants of deep learning that includes this explainability component. Let's talk about LIME. So how LIME works. So LIME is local, interpretable, model, agnostic explanations. So it is basically used for explanations on single instance of data. So as you know, model agnostic means it focuses on a particular data point or particular instance. So for example, loan approval applications may have features related to gender, married, dependence, education, self-employed, etc. Now we focus on a particular feature, how it has an impact on the decision. So this GitHub gives you this LIME is based on this particular research paper, explaining the predictions of any machine learning classifier. So you can visit this GitHub site for exploring more on this tool. So LIME, it's local. Local means explanations are locally faithful. That is, it's focused on a particular instance. Interpretable. So it is interpretable. That is, based on this explanations. So the weights of a neural network are not meaningful for a human because we cannot use the weights for interpretation. And then model agnostic, any machine learning algorithm can be used as a predictive model. So that is the advantage of this agnostic models. It can be applied to any model, and it also works with any type of data, text, image, or tabular data. So it provides explanations on the relationship between the input to the machine learning model and the model's prediction. So that is the explanation for this LIME. Local, interpretable, model agnostic explanations. So when you look at the output of LIME, we are given the mushroom characteristics like odor, size, gill size, etc. to the machine learning model. It returns the decision poisonous. So how do you arrive? How does this machine learning model say that this particular mushroom is poisonous? Why? Why is it poisonous? So LIME is giving explanations because it has odor. So we could see that features given in yellow color. So odor 0.26, and then stark surface 0.11, and then print color 0.08. So based on this, based on this odor, it classifies that it is poisonous. So all edible, its gill size is broad. So these 4 features contribute to the decision poisonous. So when you get this output, immediately the end user may understand. So why the system has classified this, the input. So say, for example, a particular type of mushroom as poisonous because of its odor. So these 4 features contribute. Suppose if we say that, no, this is wrong, all odor, so we may argue that fish is having odor, but it is edible, right? So then in that case, you can say that it's a wrong prediction. It has taken the wrong for classification. So we can refine our model. So this one example for tabular classification. That is a tabular data, how this LIME classifies. Say how we can use LIME for text classification. So given the given a text as an input to machine learning model, it returns atheism. So this particular machine learning model, it returns atheism. Why? Because LIME explains, because of these highlighted words in the text. Because of these highlighted words in the text, I have classified as atheism, right? So then the end user will be satisfied with the explanation. If he is not satisfied, then we need to refine the model. So we need to refine the features, or we have to test our data set you need to see whether our data set has all possible varieties, so that the model gives correct prediction. For image classification, so in the field of computer vision, the image classification is an important process. So if a machine learning model classifies whether it is a Labrador or retriever, why? Right? So this it says the output of here the output of this line is parts of the image that are that contributes for this decision. So this kind, as I said earlier, the visual representation, it could be in the form of scatter plots, right? Or it could be in the form of Fifth rules. Here, it just. Hello, madam, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Please continue, ma'am.
Okay. So here, this line for image classification, given an input image, it gives you a part of the input image. So what is that? What is that part? What is that part? This is the area of the given input image, which is responsible for this decision. That is whether the image is a Labrador or retriever. So based on that, we understand, okay, the system has given the correct prediction. And then so normally the line works on building a simple model that is an approximation to our complex model. So here we have two features, right? So if we focus on a particular point, right? Suppose say this, what are they here? Stroke and no, then the red point will land in this approved area. So it is then it's easy to understand. So the income plays a crucial role. So if we increase the income of the applicant, then his loan will be approved. So this one output of line tool. So these are similar examples. So here we predict the prediction probabilities for atheism. So all atheism, it has, these are the factors that contributed to this probability. 0.15 and then NNTP. So you could see on various news posts, the probability of atheism is higher than this Christian. Hence, the words, the result is, I think here, atheism. And then the second example, the prediction probabilities, poisonous is 1. Sorry, I think I given the Christian. Christian is the predicted one here. Similarly here, the poisonous prediction probabilities. So how this system arrived at poisonous prediction probability is 1 because of its odor, stark surface, spore print color, and then. So these are the features. So it also prints what are the features that contributed to this decision. So when you know that the features that contributed to a particular decision, then that is self-explanatory. So here we are able to get the explanations of our prediction. Next comes SHAP. So LIME comes under model agnostic. Similar to that, SHAP. It's Shapley additive explanations. So this SHAP tool works based on calculating the Shapley values. Actually, the Shapley values the values are not new because it was introduced way back 1950s. So the calculation of Shapley values is already has been implemented from 1950. Now we are using it for explainability. So we call it as Shapley additive explanations. In short, we call it as SHAP tool. So it could be used for explaining different types of models. Being agnostic, it can be used for defining, explaining different types of models like linear regression, logistic regression, deep learning models, and other various NLP tasks. So this SHAP is based on game theory. So the explainability is implemented using based on the concept of game theory. Say, for example, 4 members are playing a game. So the team has 4 players. right? So this and then they get a payout. So they win the game and then they get some amount as the payout, right? Now our we have now the problem is, how are we going to divide the payout among all the parts, among the members of the team? How do you do that? Now 4 members are in the team. They played a game and then they got some amount or the payout in dollars. How are we going to distribute the amount? So it should be a fair distribution. Any suggestion? How do we distribute this payout?
Audience, you can answer.
Yes. So naturally we answer like this. So based on the contribution by the members, right? Suppose how do you calculate? Suppose they won the first prize. Now how do I distribute the payout so that the distribution is fair? So here we just do it using Sharple's values. But here in this case, we need to take into account. Suppose I'm, let me see whether I have that slide. Yeah, suppose I'm removing this person from the team, right? So I'm removing the blue guy from the team and then see what will be the payout. Suppose, let us assume the payout has been reduced. The team, after removing this blue member, has got the second prize instead of first. Earlier, when all the 4 members were there, they have secured the first prize, but now they have secured, they have they were pushed to the second place, and then the payout also will be less. So 7,000. Sorry, yeah. So the payout is 3,000 now. So how do you? So what is the contribution of this blue member? Suppose if we assume these for developing a model, we use these 4 members. One can be a domain expert, right? So when you remove the domain expert from the team, the payout is 3,000. So what is the loss? Earlier they got 10,000. Now they are able to get only 3,000. So the difference is 7,000. So that 7,000 is due to the contribution by the domain expert. So that's not the only case. Suppose this domain expert, even the domain expert, only if he works with the deep learning, he may be able to get good result. So there may be some correlation among the data points. So say yellow member with blue member, they can work, they may get good output, or the pink and blue, they may get that combination, they give a different output. So we need to consider all possible permutations. So it's not that individual contribution, but how they work well. So we all know that teamwork is important, and the team members, there should be compatibility among the team members. There should be some understanding among the team members. Otherwise, the output will be negative. So we need to take into account what are the factors, what are the contributions by each member, and how, and also the contributions when they are in different combinations. What will be the contribution when 3 members, blue, green, and blue, yellow, and pink? What will be the contribution when only blue and pink, right? And then blue, green, etc. So we need to find the contributions by each subset of the features. So that is the basic idea. So here this Shapley is based on the game theory. Just as we play a game, how do we fairly distribute the output among the team members based on their contribution. How do you calculate the contribution? By taking into account all possible subsets. So we call it as the marginal contribution. Actually, the Sharpe values is the marginal average value. So in this case, we find out the individual one, like 3,000 from the first member, 1,500, 2,500, and 3,000. So we find the marginal value. So that is the Sharpe values. I think I need to go back how they were. Okay, here the Sharpe values. So now the members, we can compare, we can assume the members are, the team members are the features like age, gender, BMI, and some other features, diabetic, etc. So we give these inputs to a machine learning black box, the prediction. So the prediction. So in order to find the contribution by each feature or a combination of these features, we use the Sharpe's values. So Sharpe values are used to give the explanation about the contribution of each feature. So how do you calculate the Sharpe values? We use the formula. So always deep learning is full of mathematics. We use some equations to for implementing our model. So this here we use the Sharpe values. So this is the formula for computing the Sharpe values for a particular feature. So here for age we are calculating the Sharpe values. F is the black box model. X is the input data point. So the formula goes like this. So the Z dash is a subset. So we know that a model is built from around like 50 features or n features. So out of n features, we take a subset, right? So this Z dash is a subset that has only age and body mass index, right? And then for age combined with this body mass index, what will be the Sharpe value? So for different combination of these features, we compute the Sharpe values, and then we we sort the features based on the Sharpe values, and then we say these are the features that contribute to this particular prediction. So age and body mass index, if the Sharpe value is high, then we say that these two features are the important features which play a crucial role in getting this decision. There may be like 2 power n subsets. If there are n features, 2 power n combinations, we need to find out the Sharpe values for each. So there are some special library files. So here you can import Sharpe, that is highlighted, that's being highlighted. So while developing your model, you import this Sharpe library file, and then finally you get this. The output will be like age, glucose level. So we have the Sharpe values. So the output of this Sharpe will be heat map or some plot in the descending order of the Sharpe values. So from this plot, we can easily justify our output. So these are the features, that is age, glucose level, and BMI. They contribute more for our decision, whether we'll be getting stroke or not, right? So we have all programs in GitHub. So those who want to explore this particular domain, they can very well visit GitHub. I've given some, I've taken some from the GitHub website. And Deep Finder also is very nice. So this is a visual representation of Sharpe explanation. So given the input image, you could see which features, all the pixel values in red, they are the contributors for the decision that it is a do it share. And then second one here, but in red, black, sandpaper, those features are not prominent. So only for, so this is our decision, the prediction that it is a do it share. So what made us to decide or predict that this image is a Dewey? So that is highlighted in red. So this this is an example for chart for that is a explanation. And then we may give counterfactual explanations. I think in the at the beginning I gave you one example. Counterfactual explanations. Why? That is, say for example, if a person, we are saying, the doctor is saying that a person may get stroke, 90% stroke. What do you mean by counterfactual? You may reduce the risk of stroke if you increase the BMI or if you reduce your sugar level, right? If you reduce your weight, etc. So if your body mass index and sugar level is reduced, then you may reduce the risk of stroke. Similarly, why your loan is not approved? Because your income, you have low income and then you have low credit history. So now if you are able to explain this, there are some, what is that? It could be this counterfactual explanations may be a double-edged weapon. So if people know that because of these are the reasons my application is denied, then they will go for different one. So they will try to hook up, they'll try to bring fake certificates so that they may get the loan. So in real life situation, so the companies may invest a huge amount of money in designing AI models for automating solutions. So if all the solutions are explainable, then that may not be commercially viable. So we need to see, see that the consumer does not look into the black box. We don't want to unravel layer-wise explanation for the consumer in case of a product, because that is leaking your identity, the uniqueness of your product. But that could be useful for the developer or for the product company itself, for the CEO, how they can improve the quality of the product, right? So these are some issues. So counterfactual explanations, we mean that we give, so if you are getting, you have 90% chances of stroke, but if you reduce or if you increase your body mass index or if you reduce your diabetic level, you may not get stroke. So that is counterfactual explanations. And then contrastive explanations. See, normally we build a model using the features, available features. Now, contrastive explanations is also a new emerging area where we consider the missing features. Say, for example, there is another guy. So we are not focusing on the present guy. There is another guy who is tall and has short hair, but also wears glasses. So the wearing glasses may be a missing feature in your model. But if you add that model, it may give more explanation. So this kind of research, so it will be contrastive, giving contrastive explanations. So, but we cannot measure, we need not make the model complex by taking an exhaustive list of all possible features, but rather we can use a minimal set of features that help us to distinguish from the closest class that it does not belong to. So it's an alternative by considering the missing features also for giving explanations. So here for contrastive explanations, we use, if we access the input, Y is the class predicted by the model, and F is a set of features that are present, M is a set of features that are missing. So X is classified in Y because F and M are true. So we consider both the features included and also missing features. So this is also a new emerging area that has a lot of scope for research. So we consider this pertinent, positive and negative. Say, for example, a patient with symptoms of cough, cold and fever, but no sputum, will be diagnosed as flu rather than pneumonia. So which feature, but no sputum. So here this is the pertinent negative. So cough, cold and fever could imply both flu and pneumonia, but the feature that helps us to distinguish between flu and pneumonia is the presence of sputum. So, but the absence of sputum leads to diagnosis of flu. So here sputum is considered as a pertinent negative feature. So there can be multiple counterfactuals based on that. So a responsible AI should consider all these factors, whether this algorithm is ethical, the training data representative of different groups, and then so we have divided various stages. So because of time constraint, and just moving fast. There are limitations for explainable AI. How to, that is in terms of understanding the feature importance, problem domain, and then data pre-processing, and then the correlation among the input features, and then what are the types of prediction, etc. So we have other tools also. Now today I discussed two tools for model agnostic, because they can be applied to any deep learning, any model, sorry, not deep learning model, any AI model, LIME and SHARP. So LIME is based on local, that is focusing on a particular instance. It may use, I think I have an example. Okay, let's see. So ELIF5 is also another tool for explaining predictions. What if tool is developed by Google. So it gives visual representations. So I showed you one slide image at the way in between. So when you change the parameters, you can look the impact, you can visually. So that helps us to understand clearly which features contribute to the prediction. So this what if tool can also be used along with SHARP and LIME. It works with all types of data, tabular, image, and text data. So AIX360 is another explainability tool by IBM, and then Skater. So all are open source, so it's easily available. So you can try one by one how to incorporate explainability in your models. So this, what are the challenges faced by XAI? You have to build trust. So building trust is one of the important feature of explainable AI. So how to build the trust using good explanations, that's a challenge of explainability AI. So the benefits, model biasing, it increases responsibility, governance, code confidence, and code compliance with the. So explainability AI optimizes. So I'm just summarizing the advantages, merits of explainability AI. Model performance, and then it retains safety, it builds trust, and it also complies with the general accountability and regulations. So I said this layer-wise relevance propagation is another method. So this for model specific. So this LRP is another technique for model specific explainability. So here, given any computer vision image will be an input, you have the classification model. So this features are the pixels, and then we compute relevance, feature relevance. So the feature relevance are calculated. You could see all this in red. So this red, they contribute for the result, so for the prediction. So we compute the feature relevance for each feature. So based on the relevance, we explain what are the features responsible for this classification. So it's I'll just finish it up in 2 minutes. Here is a CNN architecture. We compute the relevance using a formula. So we just relevance is propagated from the output. So now it is a cat. The decision is a cat, and then based on cat, which neurons in the previous layer has higher relevance. We compute the relevance of the next layer, and that is propagated to the next one. Yeah, this one. So here, the red. So all these, we compute the relevance and propagate it backwards. It's like back propagation. You propagate the layer relevance based on, you propagate backwards using the relevance of each neuron. And then finally we get, so all these neurons in red, in thick red, are responsible for this decision, cat. So it is easy. It's a visual explanation for the decision. This is a concept using layer relevance propagation. It comes under model specific technique, explainability. So we have several examples. We're code using line. So normally in line, they create perturbations for explainability. So they just find out superpixels, and then disturb only some of the superpixels. That's create random perturbations with the superpixels, and then find out the impact. And then based on that, you decide which part of the image contributes for the decision. So I think these are the references. We have code repositories, etc. Now, thank you all for your patient listening. I am open for queries. I have touched upon a new topic, explainability AI. So if I'm not able to answer your queries, I may return back after analyzing it.
Yes. Now the audience are expected to ask some questions. If you have, of course, this is a new area of research as well as the concept. If any one of you has relevant questions, you can post, or you can unmute and you can ask. You are free to do that. How XAA can be used in dentistry? That is the question.
Again, it's an application of computer vision, right, madam?
Okay.
So just like we say that it's a cat or dog, so the dental images. So we give the input as the dental images, and then the output will be, it highlights the parts of the image that lead to a particular diagnosis.
Okay.
The parts of the tooth image.
Okay. Okay.
So the output will be the parts of the image.
Parts of the
image, dental image. And in case of other, if they are using a machine learning model, then there comes a set of features. Then the explainability AI will list a set of features that are responsible for a particular decision.
Okay.
So this lime and sharp is common. There are common techniques that could be applied for any application.
Okay. So with those two tools, is it possible to cover any kind of problem?
Yes, madam. That's why they are classified as agnostic. It could be applied to any type of model.
Okay.
But model specific means model specific techniques like layer LRP, layer relevance propagation, they are meant only for neural networks.
Okay. LRP is only for neural. Others, it can be for NLP or vision.
Any type of.
Okay. Any other questions? If you have, you can post it. Later also, madam will be answering that.
Yes, I'm happy.
We will collect, yes, we will collect the questions and just post it to the resource person so that to get the answers. Okay. Jenny, now you can start with the feedback, I think.
Thank you, ma'am, for such an informative session. We have acquired much knowledge on explainable AI, interpretability, AI decisions, black box explanation, model-specific techniques of explainability, SHARP, and the limitations of explainable AI and its benefits. Participants can unmute yourself and post your feedback. You can please.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I first of all thank Department of Computer Science and University of HRDC for conducting these kind of webinar on latest topics and current trends. It is really helpful, ma'am, for all students and especially the research scholars like me. And today each session was really informative and we are loaded with lot of knowledge. We got an idea about the industry expectations from a data scientist and got knowledge and insight about the artificial intelligence. It was really helpful, ma'am. Thank you so much. And we are looking for these kind of webinar in future also. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Pushpalata, you want to talk? She's trying to give the audio.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good
This is
afternoon.
Purnima from SA College of Arts and Science and also a research scholar from Department of Computer Science, University of Madras. This session was very useful where I have learned a new model of AI. And also I hope the students also has got benefited because of this webinar, because it contains all latest technology related to healthcare and real life problem. So thank you so much for arranging this session, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Anyone else? Anybody else are in line? So all have thanked. Yes. Yes, I think the feedback from the audience is that much. Okay, now we can go to the next session, next agenda.
Yes, ma'am. No duty is more urgent than giving thanks. Gratitude makes sense of our past, bringing peace for today and creates a vision for tomorrow. I request Professor Dr. M. Swarnam, ma'am, Department of Computer Science, University of Madras, a vote of thanks.
Thank you, Jenny, for giving a nice word of welcoming. Any job without expressing our gratitude is not fulfilled. Whatever the event is happening, whatever the function we are conducting, it is our duty to reciprocate. So that is the law of universe, I would like to say. So it gives me immense pleasure in getting associated with UGC HRDC and Department of Computer Science to propose this vote of thanks. Kalatinal seida nandri siridaninum, ஞாலத்தின் மானப்பெரிது. உற்ற காலத்தில் ஒருவன் செய்த உதவி சிறிதளவாக இருந்தாலும் அதன் தன்மையை அறிந்தால் உலகை விட மிக பெரியதாகும். So that shows that always you should be grateful to whatever you get from anyone or even from the non-living things even. Because that is the law of universe, that whatever you give back, definitely that is going to get you back in an enormous amount. So even you can thank the things you get from this earth. So maybe you might think that it is a philosophy. It's not a philosophy, but it is the reality. So that's what I would like to stress upon here. Always express your thanks. Always be grateful to anything you get from anyone. So now it's my religious duty to propose the vote of thanks. First and foremost, I would like to thank the Almighty for giving enough strength and health to conduct this webinar in a successful manner. Now I thank the university authorities. First, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, then our Registrar in Charge, Professor Madhivanan sir, then the resource persons, Mr. Namashivayam, that is Shiva Tirumalizai, and Mary Shanti Franklin. My department pillars, the Chitra, S. Gopinathan sir, and Lavanya. Of course, the captain of our department, Professor Dr. P. Thangavel. Without his motivation and encouragement, we will not give these much webinars in online. Of course, I would like to thank all the university authorities, HRDC office people, and all the delegates who participated very enthusiastically in this webinar. And of course, I would record my special thanks to SA College Principal and the Director, Principal Madam Dr. Maladi Shri, and the Director Dr. Satyavati, for permitting 150 of their students to have 2 different logins and hear and watch this webinar in live. So that much enthusiasm and support we get from the college side also. So personal thanks to both of them as well as the students of that college. My special thanks to our PG students and the research scholars and all the students and participants who have joined in this AI program, AI session enthusiastically from the beginning till the end. And last but not the least, I would like to thank my own strength, our department scholars, Ms. Bhavani, Ms. Vagishwari, Ms. Sasipriya, and Jennifer Blessy, for day and night. Behind the screen, we need to work day and night to produce this kind of sessions. So that much of support we get from the scholars anytime, anywhere. So digitally we are blessed and get connected. Of course, sometimes we are having some hurdles and struggles, but even then these people have managed to get it done. Thank you, all the delegates, all the participants. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, one and all present here.
Thank you, ma'am. Please fill in the feedback link and your certificates will be reaching you in 7 working days. Thank you so much for your love and support, and we will all meet in the next webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, we can log out now, no? Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. And bye.
Bye. Thank you, all of you. My personal thanks to all my scholars, as well as I told you already, our pillars of the department, Chitra and Lavanya. Without their support, I wouldn't have imagined this session, because at the middle, the power went off. So that kind of scenario will happen. Of course, that is reality. So we need to face that also. So my special thanks to them. And if I missed anybody, please, sorry, I didn't mean it. I thank everyone who took part in this wonderful program. Thank you.